do have another interesting question, and this one comes from Ben. And I'm sure anybody who's been pulled over while intoxicated probably feels this way. He wants to know, can a police officer charge me with drunk driving even if he doesn't see me driving the car?
Good question.
Yes. So, Bubba, how would you answer that one?
Well, the police are trained to look for circumstantial evidence. For example, you're on the side of the road, your car's off, the key's in the ignition, and you're slumped over the wheel, and they finally wake you up. And as soon as they smell the alcohol, they know you've been drinking. And you think, well, I'm not driving, I'm over here on the side of the road. Well, unbeknownst to them, many times the officer will go up and feel the hood if it's a cold night, if the hood's still warm, or if there's been a witness that's called it in that saw him pull over, they can take circumstantial evidence and put a case together. There's one case from 1981 where the man had a small accident, single car. He was about a mile away walking to a service station. Police officers saw the car and realized that he would have not walked in one direction because there's nothing ahead. He drove back in that direction, found him. He admitted that it was his car, and they arrested him for DUI, and he appealed, but the case, they won the case, and he was convicted. And that was 1981 case out of the Athens area.
Yeah, there are other instances. What we usually get is this: somebody has pulled their car over, or they're in the parking area of a restaurant or an establishment, and they go to sleep and they're behind the wheel, and they are, in fact, intoxicated. If they're behind the wheel of the car, even though they're asleep and not driving, the theory is they're in control of the vehicle. So they can still be charged with DUI if they're sitting there doing nothing. And so the advice would be, if you're in that situation, you're going to do that, get out from behind the wheel, get in the back seat of the car, go to sleep, and then you're not in that situation.
In fact, I've got one more step. I told one of my regular clients, if she had this happen and she stopped, to not have the key in the car. So she had gotten out of the car and hidden the key. And when the police came on the cul-de-sac, because somebody called it in, they couldn't find a key. And even though she had DUIs, I got the case dropped because they could not find the key and they couldn't prove when she got there.
I've heard of that before, where somebody would get out of the car and just toss the key out into the woods somewhere. And I guess that's their way of getting out of the case. So
not something we would advise doing, though. I mean, I think the better advice is get in the back seat and go to sleep.
I like that too. I like that advice too.